If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to race day for the FINA World Championships in Barcelona, sponsored by Speedo. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Well, 3 days down of the 8-day meet today, and we saw some stellar swims. Jeff Cummings is on site in Barcelona, bringing us live analysis from the pool deck. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Jeff, yesterday we predicted the big headline to be centered on Missy Franklin and another potential world record. She just missed it, but in other news, Katie Ledecky crushes the 1500 world record by 6 seconds. How was the atmosphere on the pool deck today?
Well, actually, Tiffany, it was a little bit weird. The crowd wasn't getting into it until about the 1200 or 1300. Even though the announcers were saying they're 5 seconds under, they're almost 6 seconds under. Every 100 they were saying they're well under world record pace. The crowd wasn't getting into it as much as I thought they would. And even at the end, I don't think they appreciated that swim as much as I thought they would. I mean, to break a world record by, I think it was 5-6 seconds is quite amazing. And I think they were kind of, you know, it's mostly Spanish, and they were kind of sad that Maria Belmonte Garcia didn't get top 3. So, you know, I think they were just watching their swimmer and not focusing on Katie and Lottie Freeze. But yeah, it was a little bit calmer than I thought it would be. But still, when it was over, I think it started to grow in appreciation, and they eventually started to give her a standing ovation. And they actually did the wave 5 times around the arena after that. So I think they started to get more pumped and excited about it.
Well, that was definitely one of the best events that I think we're going to see this entire week, but only one of a few. All right, let's go ahead and start. This evening session kicked off with the finals heats for the men's 200 freestyle and the women's 100 backstroke. Yannick Agnel of France defends his London gold medal with a 144.2, and coincidentally another 4th place finish for this event for Ryan Lochte. However, Connor Dwyer gets in for 2nd. Jeff, walk us through this race tonight.
I was thinking Ryan Lochte was going to be out much faster than he was at the 100. I thought he was going to be the one that goes 50 point, not Yannick. And so when Ryan was not out fast, I knew he was out of the race. He just doesn't swim the race that way. And so he's not a back halfer. He likes to push the pace really early. And so I just thought he was out of it. I mean, he was still pretty much in it, but I just knew that he just wasn't going to be able to close like people like Connor Dwyer, Kosuke Agino, and all these other guys. I just really didn't expect that. So, you know, I just knew that he just didn't set that race up right. I think he was trying a different strategy because it didn't. It worked in Indianapolis where he went out hard, but he died so hard that everybody almost caught him. So not really the kind of meet where you want to try something new, and it kind of didn't work out for him.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to see how his events continue to unfold. But what's interesting is this was one of a few events tonight that really seemed to mirror London, and we'll continue to walk the other ones through. But our first shot at a world record today was in the hands of Missy Franklin in the 100 backstroke. She clocked a 58.42, only 0.3 of a second off the world record. Emily Seabaum finished a good half-second behind. Jeff, as we discussed yesterday, Missy Franklin was fresh tonight going into the 100 backstroke, not coming off of a tough double like she did in London. Now, I don't doubt her capabilities, but this was probably her best opportunity to break that world record.
Yeah, and somebody actually pointed out during my live observations that she will have another chance in the medley relay. She won't have a double. You know, she'll just be coming up, just being able to do a 100 backstroke, her last event of the meet. Maybe she'll break it then. She knows what she may have done not so perfectly here. I think she went out too fast. It was really fast for her. She's never first at the turn. Every time she's won the 100 back, she is never first at the turn, at least not in recent memory. So I was a little worried. Thought maybe she wasn't going to be able to close as well as she usually does, and she didn't have that closing fire that she usually does, but it was still enough. So I think she has another shot, but for her to go 58.4 right on what she went in London was a good sign that she's going to have a good meet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Excited to see what she does in that relay. Maybe now she can do some minor tweaking. Up next was the 50 breaststroke. Cameron Vanderberg will take the middle lane in tomorrow's final, but this race will still be tight. Jeff, the 50s are so difficult to predict, but is this Vanderberg's race to lose?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been the only one under 27 seconds. And, you know, in a 50, you can't hold back like that, especially in the semifinals where places are going to be decided by hundreds of a second. So the fact that nobody else can get under 27 seconds means not to say he can be comfortable, but, you know, he knows that he doesn't have to worry about his competition. Just race the clock, see if he can break his world record.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. All right, well, we already discussed this event a little bit, but the race of the night, Katie Ledecky, women's 1500 freestyle. After an amazing sub-4-minute swim in the 400 free night number 1, it's not that surprising that she crushes the world record by 6 seconds, but a 15:36. Keeping in mind, Lottie Freeze is also 4 seconds under the world record with the 15:38. Jeff, tell me this was the race of the night, if not the entire meet.
It's going to be the race of a lot of people's lives. I don't think we're going to see that kind of race again. And, you know, after Nationals, where she went 15:45, I believe, I knew she was going to break the world record. But I didn't think she'd go under 15:40. And I'm just more amazed, not just by how Katie was able to stay within 5.5 to 6.0 seconds of the world record the entire time, because Kate Ziegler built her 1500, so she was getting, her splits were getting faster and a little bit more consistent throughout her race, whereas usually most people tend to be fast on the front half and her splits kind of fall off. So that showed a lot about what she knew what she needed to do in this month, and I've got to give so much credit to Lottie Freese. I had initially said that she wasn't going to be able to last with Katie past 700, and she stayed with her for 1500 meters. So that says a lot about Lottie too. I mean, this is a breakthrough swim for her. She's never been under 15:48, I think. So that's a big drop for her, and even in a 1500, 10 seconds is a lot. So big swims for both of them.
Yeah, both of those ladies need to be acknowledged in this race. And Katie Ledecky proving now that she was dominant in the 800 freestyle in London, but now she's adding the 400, the 800, and there's been talk of the 1500 being added to the schedule in Rio. I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. Jeff, if they do that, that's going to be Katie Ledecky first in line.
Yeah, it sounds like FINA, or sorry, not FINA, the International Olympic Committee has pretty much said there's not going to be any new events added for the Rio Olympics, but Katie will be around for wherever the Olympics will be held in 2020, so maybe she should start making a push to convince the IOC to say, look, put the 1500 in, and by the way, put the men's 800 in. It'll be fun for everybody to see that. It's an extra event that everybody will get into. I don't think they got into it tonight, but I think they were thinking it's a little long for them. But I think it would be a great addition.
Yeah, I'm in favor of it. All right, well, up next was another event that was reminiscent of London. Team USA not only keeps it going with another gold, but the USA men proved their dominance again in the 100 backstroke. This time, Matt Grevers and David Plummer go 1-2. Grevers 52.9, still off of the mark of Aaron Pearsall, but the only sub-53 swim. Jeff, did this event come as any surprise to you?
I was surprised David Plummer got second, and that's not to take away from anything that he's been doing this past year since not making the Olympic team. But, you know, Camille LaCour was in the Olympic final. Raisuke Irie got third. Jeremy Stravius is the co-defending world champion. I mean, I guess the deck was stacked against him to get second, but it just goes to show when you're hungry for something, it could come to you. And I think a lot of these guys, actually all of them, went to the Olympics. So, you know, it just kind of goes to show that the Olympics can drain you. And it was a lot slower than I thought it would be. I thought top three would all be under 53 and have only one guy under 53 and barely under 53. You know, it could be just the post-Olympic year, but you know, we'll have to see next year if they can maybe feel more comfortable. There won't be a World Championships; it'll just be Pan Pacs and Europeans and Asian Games and all that. So the pressure of not having to compete against the world might make things a little bit faster next year.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to talk about that a little bit later. Is that just the differences looking at the men and women tonight? I want to see how that plays out over the next couple of days to see if we're going to see a pattern of the women outperforming the men. But I agree, this event was a little bit slower than I would have hoped for after seeing these ladies coming so close to some world records.
Yeah, I think the men are probably noticing that too.
All right, the semifinals coming up. We had the 200 fly for the men. Chad LeClos will take lane 4 tomorrow. Tyler Clary tied for 4th, and London bronze medalist Takeshi Masuda missed out on the top 8. In the ladies 200 freestyle, it was a quick turnaround for Missy Franklin, but she's going to be second going into tomorrow behind Federica Pellegrini. And Shannon Vreeland's going to top off that final 8. Jeff, any predictions going into those final heats tomorrow?
Well, like the 100 back, that men's 200 fly semifinal was just so slow. I just really was expecting some 154s, but you know, it's a semifinal. Everybody's kind of maybe just holding back a little bit. That's what happened with the men's 200 free. The semifinals was a little slow, and then all of a sudden, Yannick Gagnel and everybody else is just really ramping it up. So I think everybody will lay it on the line. I think Chad LeClos looked really comfortable in his 200 fly, so he'll really break out there. Tom Luxinger is just having a great month so far, and I think this is going to be even better for him. It's kind of sad to see Takeshi Matsuda not make the final, but I think some of these, it's not just restricted to the U.S. Some of these Japanese Olympians aren't doing as well either. Aya Terakawa is probably the only of their star swimmers who's really been performing very well so far. Kosuke Agino has been doing okay, but you know, he didn't go to the Olympics, or actually he did go to the Olympics, but you know, his best event's going to be the 400 IM, so that's at the end of the meet. So we'll see how he does as well.
All right, well, lots to look forward to tomorrow. The last event of the night was the women's 100 breaststroke, and this was our 3rd realistic shot at a world record. Ruta Malataiti just missed out on her own world record that she set in semifinals yesterday, but still clocked an amazing 104.4. Yulia Efimova moved up to 2nd, and Jessica Hardy took the bronze. Now, Jeff, we just discussed that the women definitely outswam the men today. I think we need a few more days before we can see if this is going to be a pattern. But where did the men fall short today? What do we need to see from them tomorrow?
Well, I can't say they need to be more aggressive, because it's not to say the 100 backstrokers weren't aggressive. It's not to say that, well, Ryan Lochte aside, I think pretty much everybody in that 200 free swam the race that they knew how to swim. But I think it's just a physical / mental thing. It's nothing that they're doing wrong. It's just where their bodies are at this point in time. I mean, Tyler Clary said it best, and I wrote about it in my prelim wrap-up commentary, is that, you know, it's so hard to just kind of just stop what you're doing after the Olympics and just kind of go back to normal life and just try to, you know, keep going with your life. It's not easy to do, and a lot of people can't do that. You know, Michael Phelps didn't do that in 2009, so it's not unprecedented. And you know, we saw how Allison Schmidt fared. So, you know, a lot of these people are really having a hard time with it. It's weird that it's happening a lot more in 2013 than I have seen it after any Olympics. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. Maybe it's the social media addition to it. You know, they're out in the public eye all the time, and maybe that's taking a toll on them.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Well, tomorrow will bring us to the halfway point of the World Championships. The evening will start off with the semifinals for the men's 100 free and the women's 50 back, followed by the finals for the men's 200 fly, women's 200 free, men's 100 breaststroke, the semis for the women's 2 fly and the men's 2 IM, and wrapping up with the final heat for the men's 800 freestyle. Jeff, I liked this prediction question. What will be the headline for tomorrow?
Headline for tomorrow will be if Sun Yang can break the world record in the 800 freestyle. It's a hard world record, but I think he could do it. He just has to believe that he could do it. He believed he could win the 400 yesterday, or Sunday, excuse me, and he did it. So I think that's giving him a lot of confidence. I think the race for second is going to be exciting between Ryan Cochran, Connor Yeager, Gregorio Paltrinieri might be in there as well. So Usman Luli is also going to be tough. I mean, 800 freestyle is like everybody else swimming a 50 to him. So I think that's going to be a great race to watch, and it's going to be exciting to kind of see how the men respond in their non-Olympic distance event like the women did in their non-Olympic distance event.
Yeah, you're right. Well, a lot to look forward to. Jeff, we appreciate your analysis. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow after day 4.
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, make sure to go to our event landing page on swimminggold.tv to find all coverage, results, analysis, interviews, much more. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for breaking news. I'm Tiffany Elias, and we'll see you tomorrow.